Banijay Asia that produces content for TV, film and digital platforms including shows such as Aarya and Undekhi, factual and reality series such as Into the Wild, Masterchef, Big Boss, MTV Roadies, has joined forces with the Space Exploration and Research Agency, CERA, to create a reality show that will select one ordinary Indian citizen to embark on a journey to space. This innovative show format will chronicle the nationwide search and selection process, ultimately leading to the chosen individual's flight to space. This project comes on the heels of CERA's recent announcement of India's partnership in their human space flight program as a significant step towards democratizing space exploration. To tell us more about this partnership and content that will follow, shift in audience preferences in the country, what works with the Indian audience today, we are joined in by Deepak Dhar, founder and group CEO of Banijay Asia. Welcome to CNBC TV18.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
Deepak, let's get it straight. You are going to launch a reality show that will select and send an Indian citizen to space. Tell us more. How will that happen?
With a shared vision between us as partners as CERA and Banijay Asia, this was a shared passion project. And, we come from the world of compelling storytelling and they come from the world of really space, technology and exploration. I think together with our strengths, we're really taking on this challenge to find that one Indian to really, go to space. I think this moment in Indian television is possibly coming after like almost 2 or 3 decades. I mean, last time this euphoria or this furor or this level of excitement was possibly seen when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was coming into the country, which is now popularly known as KBC. This is that moment for us to really give an ordinary man a journey of his extraordinary dreams. So this is really something very exciting, and we're really looking forward to this.
And you are right. It's absolutely akin to when Harshvardhan Navate won the 1 crore at KBC. It's similar to that. But you have already made this announcement, and I'm sure a lot of Indians have already applied. What is the excitement like?
Well, honestly, we've already got more than 10,000 participants signing up. We've not even formally or officially really gone out. This is something that we're already seeing, the excitement. We know that India is having this moment globally in space exploration and technology. If we were to just talk a little bit about data, the last moon landing had delivered historic ratings.
Yeah.
So which is what got us started saying, let's as storytellers find that one journey, one mission to really tell history in a big way. And we want to make this big. We want to really make this land this in a very epic way. So, given what's happening in the country, the national sentiment with the data that we've seen, we're very excited.
Yeah, and it's open to Aam Janta, normal Indian, average Indian citizen, as well as the defense forces, defense personnel as well.
Absolutely.
Anyone and everyone can apply. I can apply.
You can apply. You must apply for this show. I've already got a lot of calls from friends and family saying, is this for real? And we're going to be applying. I said, please do apply. But yeah, I mean, the basic criteria is if you're an adult, you can apply. If you're 18 plus, you must apply. That's as simple as it gets. And, we're keeping it very, very open to the Aam Aadmi, the ordinary common man who really wants to get onto this journey.
Yeah, and what is the selection process going to be like? How will the show pan out? How will you decide the jury?
For us, it's going to be in 3 phases. One, the first phase is really about the call for entry and the participants coming in. And I'm assuming we would be inundated and flooded with entries because of the initial response that we have seen. We're already getting very ready for that. The second phase is really going to be really whittling down this process, and that whittling down process is going to be a lot of we are, already getting on board people who are domain specialists in space and technology to really, whittle down that process and also find the right stories, find the right people, find the right common man to come onto this. So that's the second phase. And the third phase is that where 10 Indians final selected will go to the Alabama Space Center and that's where the final whittling down process would happen, and that's where the episodes will get crafted, and they would go into the space camp, and they would be put together through trials and challenges and tasks.
And also formal training as well.
And formal training, which will really get them ready for this mission. And of that 10, we're going to take 3 who are finally selected, and of that 3, 1 is going to really find his seat on the place in the rocket, and that's really the process that we're going to take. And in terms of the challenges and the training, it's really going to be a lot about zero gravity. It's going to be about atmosphere. It's going to be a lot of science and technology put into making the show, because that's really the training and that's really the whittling down the process.
Yeah, and Banijay Asia is like a company that has successfully delivered popular and successful reality shows like MTV Roadies, like Masterchef. What works in terms of reality shows with the Indian audience today, and how has that part changed?
Well, I'll pull back a bit. I think this was back in the days, in the early 2000s, reality was such a not seen as a phenomenon. Like reality was more song and dance reality, and we wanted to really up the game and change the game and disrupt the game. And there were shows like in the early days, and I was personally producing and directing those shows, and I had no clue that this was called reality television. It was a show called Pop Stars, that really then started my personal journey towards finally bringing down Big Boss, the Big Brother, which is now popularly known as Big Boss, as a format. And at that point in time, again, exactly, people would ask me the same question: this is impossible. 100 days, people locked up in a house. How is this great content? How is this even going to happen here? And, in the last 15, 17 years, you can see how popular Big Boss has become.
Yeah.
And, that's really been the successful journey of reality television. And we really wanted to disrupt the game. Again, it's really, finding good characters, engaging characters, exciting characters to want to tell a story. For us, it's really about the story. If we can get the story right, the emotion right, any reality show works.
What are the challenges in adapting some of these shows for the Indian consumers?
Well, it has to be heavily adapted. Not that every show that works globally will work in India.
Correct.
So we have to cherry pick the show. We have to really ensure that the casting is right. We have to find the right fit for these shows in terms of finding the right celebrity. Can you imagine, Salman Khan and Big Boss? They are like, it's like,
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it's like really, there can't be a better fit. Kamal Hassan and Big Boss in Tamil, or any of our other regional franchises of Big Boss, they are so match made in heaven. If we were to just leave Big Boss aside, Fear Factor and Rohit Shetty, I mean, it just is match made in heaven. Can you imagine a show without an action adventure show without Rohit Shetty? I mean, it's important. Masterchef with Chef Vikas Khanna. So it's really, finding the right people, and I would say the right people, from 2 contexts. One is in front of the camera and behind the camera. For me, both are very important aspects of the show. What is happening in front of the camera, and equally the man behind the show is really important for me. The one who's really finally telling the story. And we saw similarly, like when we were telling Night Manager, we had Anil Kapoor and Aditya Roy Kapoor, but we had a great, we had Sridhar Raghavan, who was the story and screenplay. We had Sandeep Modi, who was the director. This is finally the magic that explodes and makes it great, compelling content, and this is what we're constantly investing behind.
Yeah, and Indian content space, if you look at it over the past 2-3 years, has exploded. OTT platform consumption has increased exponentially since pandemic. So how do you ensure that, the content that you produce stands out?
We bring in a lot of international franchises like Night Manager and Good Wife. We also have shows like Monk and House and Suits that are really going to come out very soon. But on the other side, we have a lot of original stories that are coming out. Undekhi is an original, Kand is an original, Dehen was an original. So a lot of originals is also going to come out. So, but for us as makers and producers and creators, we want to keep both sides going. Why not bring in something from that side as well?
That has worked well, and why not create something
we want to
which
mix
is
it up.
original?
And I think you know, I want to also touch upon a very important aspect as creators and makers we're pushing for is that, you know, there was an age about, you know, Scandinavian shows or, you know, Norwegian shows. You know, then there was a time of, you know, Turkish shows. Then there was Israeli shows. You know, then there was Korean shows. You know, I think the time for Indian shows going global has come now, because I think, and with what RRR is doing, with what Bahubali is doing, and with a lot of other stuff that's happening, I think now is the time when Indian shows will
go global.
Yes.
Great thought. Yeah. But having said that, there are a lot of content regulation and censorship issues that, you know, India, the content produced in India comes with. How do you navigate that, especially in the context of what is happening with IC814 right now?
Well, you know, I think it needs to be responsible storytelling. It has to be factually correct and has to be balanced. You know, as Banijay Asia, our focus is only responsible storytelling. As you can see, our repertoire is only about responsible storytelling. So even if you want to do something factual, we will stick to the facts and not deviate from the facts. And, you know, I think just taking creative liberties, you know, we wouldn't want to take that. We would want to stick to the facts.
So taking creative liberties is what lands you in trouble.
Yeah, as in, like, you have to, if you know, there are times on subjects you can take creative liberties, but there are times which are very emotional subjects and factually correct subjects that you need to maintain. You must respect that material and you must just stick to the facts. And like I said, for us as makers, producers, creators, and at Banijay Asia, for us, this is the, you know, the most utmost priority is responsible storytelling.
Yeah, and how do you balance that out? How do you balance that creative freedom with compliance?
Well, you know, I think it's the choice of subjects, it's the choice of material. You know, there are times you can take creative liberties on subjects that you can. You know, if it's a drama, if it's not something that's history or fact-based, you can take creative liberties. But like I said, if it is fact-based, then you've got to really stick to fact, because now people are aware of what's happening and you must really give them what is factually correct.
Well, thank you so much. That was an insightful conversation. Thanks again for joining us today, Deepak.
Thank you so much for having me. Great to be here.
With that, it's a wrap. Goodbye.